Well, as this game went, it kind of showed that it's kind of a matter of time before the series is over. First off, congrats to Denver Nuggets and all the Nuggets fans. Um, they really proved they're the better team. I think going into this series, I think everyone kind of knew that Denver was the better team. They were the 2 seed, we were the 6 seed, and right now Denver's probably playing, other than Cleveland right now, playing the best basketball there is right now, and we haven't run into them. They owned us all year. We didn't beat them once in the regular season. We've only beat them once throughout the entire season, including the postseason. Yes, there was the game 3 thing, but you know what? After watching tonight, I can kind of let that go. I think my main deal is I kind of just want to watch my team play longer. By taking that game away, you take another game for me to watch the Mavs. Um, you know, I called this one the concrete wall game, which was this was a game where Dallas pretty much almost had no chance or was really up against the wall in this one. Um, but if we had broken through that, I think we really could have forced a game 7. I'm not saying they can't win in Dallas. They proved they could. Even though there was the bad call in Game 3, both games were very close, and it came down to where anyone could have taken them. But the games in Denver, all of them, 12. I think one was 12, the other was 4. Both were 14, including tonight. Today, I was proud of Dallas for the fact that we didn't go away. In the first 2 games in Denver, we stayed with them through 3 quarters, and then we fell apart, and their fast breaks killed us. Today, I don't know if we stayed with them, but we stayed in the game throughout the entire course until about a minute 30 left when it just unraveled. And we had a couple of small runs, 4, 6, 8 point runs in the fourth quarter. But Denver is very disciplined with Chauncey Billups to not let those go too far. And they would get those little mini runs, get 4 points right off the bat, and really couldn't sustain that. And that really helped them win the game. So Chauncey Billups, great leader for them. But really, the guy of the night was Carmelo Anthony. And I don't have his points in front of me. I didn't look at what he did. If you watch the game, he was automatic from outside everywhere. During the game, I don't know if some of you guys, when you're watching the game with your friends, when things happen, before things happen, you may predict things. I say, okay, they're going to kick this guy, kick it over here, and make the shot from wherever. And if you get it right, you kind of look at them like, yeah, I know my sports better than you guys do. But it didn't really count with Carmelo today because at one point there was 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and before he even passed it in, I said they're going to pass it to Carmelo, he's going to make it, and he did. But I don't think I get any credit for making that prediction. That's a known fact. He was knocking everything down all game, couldn't stop him, and I won't say he's the only reason because he wasn't the only Nugget who was playing well. It was you got to take your hat off to that guy. So. But talking about the Dallas Mavericks, I'm very. It's disappointing whenever your team goes out. But this team was left for dead in the regular season, and we go in, we knock the Spurs out in 5 games, and then we hit one of the hottest teams and one of the best teams in the country, and they steamroll us in the series. I think what really bothered me about having Game 3 taken away with the refs, bad call, whatever, was that. As I said, Denver's better than us. I just didn't think they were 4-1 better than us, probably 4-2 better than us, but either way, they're winning the series. But as I said, I just kind of watched my guys. Just talking about Dirk Nowitzki, Dirk Nowitzki had a great playoff, especially during the Denver series. And I don't know what it was, during the Spurs series, at the last game, Dirk was outstanding. But really throughout the series, he wasn't bad, but really the role players came along and took over. The Denver series, Dirk Nowitzki averaged, 44, 45 points. So he was excellent. But really the other guys just really didn't match up. J.J. Barea, who I think he has the energy and whatnot to help us throughout this series, was not a very good matchup because whenever they set for J.J., he really wasn't much of a factor. I think Brandon Bass showed that he really is a really deep asset to this team. If he has some height, man, he would be the center that we could use to hopefully, keep me a competitive team, but he's not big enough. So, look, I don't know what Dallas is going to need to do over the offseason. Of course, I think we need to re-sign Dirk. I mean, that's a given. Keep Dirk along and really build around him because he's, I really, like I think Stam said, just since the guy's put so many years into this team, you really want to see him get a ring at some point. But right now, it's going to be tough, especially with LeBron out there, and Kobe's still still killing it. Jason Kidd, don't know how long he's going to be with us. He's still old, but he put in a lot of productive minutes throughout this playoffs as well. Jason Terry really wasn't the factor that I thought he would be. Josh Howard, banged up ankles and all, he really came off. He was the go-to guy to start the game. He did kind of fall off at the end, but I think a lot of that has to do with the pain in his ankles. You can't ask much more for that guy though. The guy played through the pain, shows he wants to play for this team, and I wouldn't mind having him back next year. I don't know what trades we need to make. We do need a true big man. I don't know who's out there. I've heard rumors of Shaq and whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, it sucks when your team goes out. But I have no problem congratulating the Denver Nuggets fans and the Denver Nuggets themselves. I hate all that stuff happened in Dallas with the families. I don't think that's right ever to bring the families in, no matter what the calls are on the court. Don't talk to people's fans. And that's not how, people in Dallas, and if you've been there, that's not the reputation of the Dallas fans as a whole, not just Mavericks, but Cowboys and Rangers. That's very out of character, so I was very disappointed to hear that. But, people get riled up, but there's no excuse for that. So people will ask me about that. That's my thoughts. You don't talk to people's families. So now we've got Rangers baseball kind of left, and then Dallas Cowboys whenever they start up. But the videos will kind of be died down for a while. But all I can say is congrats Nuggets. Here I gotta say, I hate to say it, I'm gonna put this at the end of the video. And this I've told this, people know my philosophy on sports. And this is just me. I'm not telling everybody else to do this as well. But with me, when my team's done, I'm done. Last year with the Cowboys, I've said this before. The Cowboys didn't even make the playoffs. When the Eagles got knocked out, or when the Giants got knocked out of the playoffs, I didn't say a word. Doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I was definitely happy they got knocked out. But I really didn't talk any noise because my team didn't even make it. So this year, and I've had to deal with a lot of, and I don't even want to talk about them, like the Spurs fans. Not all the Spurs fans, but there's been Spurs fans who can't seem to get over it. They've just been spamming my page, spamming other Mavericks fans on Facebook, on YouTube, and real life. And I can tell you guys straight up, if we switch spots, if the Spurs were the team that knocked us out in 5 and they get beat by 5 by the Nuggets, I'm not saying a word. I'm not talking trash. I'm not saying anything because that team beat my team. And we can talk history all day, but during the season, it's just kind of a loser's argument. So, Denver Nuggets fans, I have this vow to you right now. I don't care if you'll play Houston or Los Angeles, more than likely Los Angeles. If somehow, which I don't think you will, but let's say Los Angeles sweeps you guys, you will not hear a word from me making fun of you guys or talking about how you guys are trash. Or that you can't win the big one or something like that because you beat my team. You're better than my team, and you advance further than my team. And by doing that, you've earned that respect. I wish other fans could see that as well, but you can only control yourself. Always, go Dallas Mavericks. Mavs fan for life. Congratulations, Denver. See you guys next season.